Hello everybody, welcome back to Wappleville, and welcome back to some more Shatterpoint. Yeah, some more Shatterpoint. We're gonna do the last of the clone troopers. Well, this is Captain Rex, actually. Here's the two of his buddies right there. So he's gonna get the same treatment, same thing with these extra basing bits. All of these Hoodoo rocks, these are from Make It Epic Basing. I 3D printed those myself. Now here you can sort of, you can see this texture I almost had to paint in right here. You can see that. This texture, that was the Green Stuff World texture phase. That seemed to work out okay. It's something we can play with. Hey there, Landrast. How you doing? So yep, we'll finish up the last of these guys. We'll do all that reflected type stuff, right? No glowy things. Now we're just gonna keep this pretty much as simple as you possibly can. Mostly Van Dyke Brown. Yeah, pretty much that. So Landrast, those the kobolds that you had there, those were looking really nifty too. I know you're able to slam those out pretty darn quick. That's very cool that you could do that. And actually reminded me, I've got to make some flower tufts myself. I saw those and I said, you know what? Well, I kind of have used up most of the armored wolf ones. So yeah, I gotta make me some grass tufts. I think that would be cool. I have to first I have to get all the junk off the table that I've been trying to prep. We'll do that, then we'll try and make that yet another basing video using the Green Stuff World, that static grass thing. Well, hopefully it works anyways. So thank you so much, Bella. I appreciate that. I hope that you had yourself a fantastic Saturday. Hard to believe it's already 10 o'clock. Oh my goodness. That's gonna woof. That's yeah, let me see. Yeah, I'm gonna get me some of the either brown matter, asphaltum, something like that out here. So Phantom, how you doing? It's great to see you back. You know what? We'll just fine. We'll play with some of this right here. How's about we do that? Is there a tea kettle in the house? There is a tea kettle in the house. How you doing there, tea kettle? Like I was telling Blades, once more folks get on in the chat and such, you want to share your links and everything. Now that's very cool. So Ballot, what were you doing on the stream? I'm sure you had a lot of fun painting that. Hey there, Bithron. The game was looking great. Sorry you had to call it because of time, but you know you'll take it, right? Getting in a game better than not getting one in. You'll take that every day. So that's cool that you were able to do that. Glad you could do that. Now over here, I'm just, again, this is a little bit more of the brown matter in there. Hey there, Kelly Goblin. How you doing? Now, Kelly Goblin, when you guys are doing yours, now lately, and it also has to do with the type of miniatures that I'm printing out, but I've actually been curing them with the supports on and then just chopping the supports on off afterwards, which has actually been far more successful. I haven't broken a single print that way, whereas no matter how scalding hot the water is, no matter how careful I am, I always seem to just break the prints when I just try to pull these the supports off that way. So now, if it's a really large, relatively solid print, that's one thing. Like a big old bust or something, where it's just like a head and the top of the torso, that's different. But something where it's like a Raging Heroes print or whatever, it's got all kinds of delicate little things. Sometimes those just need to be treated with a little bit of caution. Hey there, Crazy Wolf and Sage Mountain, nice to see you again. And Arctic Wolf, great to see you too. Now again, nothing complicated about this here pre-glaze. Absolutely nothing complicated about it. And yes, we're using regular oil paints. I'll show you what it is that we're going to be working towards tonight. I think this was our Thursday stream and this was our Monday stream, yes? Wow, we've actually, so Monday, Thursday, Saturday. Okay. There we go. Yeah, Kelly, now part of it is I'm using the Soraya Simple, which they now call water washable. They didn't used to, now they do. So and you can't wash and cure it, right? You can't use one of those machines. You have to wash it. You have to let it dry completely. Because if there's any moisture on that, your print goes boom. Ah, that's cool, Bithron. I'm glad you're able to get your hands on some of those. So now what I want to do is, again, base the Wapelius figure. Got to do that either tonight or tomorrow, whatever, with all these books of Wapple right here. Put him on there and, well, see what we can do from there. Hey, painting badly. Sorry, I wasn't home today. I was not home today, so I'll check it out on the Instagrams there. So thank you so much for sending that, painting badly. Hey there, hug 'em horns. How you doing there, Horns fan? Happy Saturday to you. Happy Saturday. Happy Saturday to everybody. Look at this. So even with this, these are not exactly staining colors yet. Now, of course, we're kind of doing a little bit of a cheaty thing here, where we're using the same sponge all over the place. Now, we will switch up here. Thank you so much, Painting Badly. Appreciate that. And, of course, Painting Badly, you know, once there's more folks in the chat and stuff, if you want to share some of the links to things that you've been painting with the oils, well, you know how valuable that is. So definitely, please do that. Hey there, Sumik. Nice to see you again. Hope that you're doing really, really well. Hopefully your weekend has been a good one. Again, we're just going to take some more of this away here. Because remember, there's some folks that would say, oh, you have me at pre-glaze. Well, then now you really have me after the initial lights and such. So, Horns fan, great to see you again. And now, so Blades, what have you got on tap? I'm guessing you're going to do your Monday stream like usual. Is there's something you've got on tap for that? I saw the picture. You did your stream with Mike. Was that the 3-person stream that you did? Well, I'll try and catch up. Tomorrow is going to be a family thing. So it's, I mean, it's sort of a memorial service, sort of a birthday thing, because there's actually my niece and my sister-in-law and myself. We're all supposed to be having, well, birthdays. So yeah, I was really, 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 really surprised by that. They did a good job at keeping that surprise a surprise. Yeah, I was certainly not expecting that. Now, how's about we start to get a little bit more of our light here? We'll take some of our Terra Rosa, some of our yellow here. I don't want that to get too... Oof, okay, that's a little more Indian yellow than I was thinking, but whatever. We'll do it. We'll do it. And then someone else baked a nice, like a cheesecake dessert thing, so I had me some of that. Actually, today, well, believe it or not, I didn't. It had been 4 years since I was last at this event, because between 2020, between what happened with Kathy and everything else, we hadn't been there in 4 years. Turns out nobody had set up the horseshoe pits. That was kind of my job, because while we arrived early, we would show up there sometimes as early as 8:30 in the morning, and that was my job, was kind of set up the pits, prep those, get them in working condition. So yeah, the September version of this, they basically the week after Labor Day and the week after Memorial Day, that's when they do this. So yeah, they'll be doing one again in September, and well, hopefully we can be there, get those horseshoe pits going. I might actually get some new horseshoes, some brand new horseshoes, so that we make sure we've got a set of those available. Now here again, yeah. So see the crackle paste paint, whatever it is, a little more successful here. This one, it looks like it was, but I actually painted all that stuff on. So yeah, that was all painted on texture. And texture itself did not translate very well. And it happens. It happens sometimes. No big deal. No big deal. We'll deal with it just fine. Now, I'm going to try and hit this here. Again, let's take some of our white, fast matte white, some of the real yellow pit. Whoops. Okay, the indigo wasn't supposed to get in there, but it just did. No big deal. We'll just whatever. Huge tragedy. Can't recover from it. Well, maybe we can. Maybe we can. So again, Blades, if you want to share any links, stuff that you've been working on stream. Now we got some folks in the chat there. Some folks, some eyeballs. So if you want to share that with them. How's about some Terra Rosa over here? Let that mix in with that Van Dyke Brown pre-glaze, which kind of gets us to that grayish skin tone anyways. Yeah, Blades, be sure that it's a nice, simple figure, not a whole bunch of complex things. Like we say all the time, right? Just make it as easy as you possibly can on yourself. No sense in stressing about it, right? Make it fun. Hey there, Grand Oracle. Oh boy, sorry, Grand Oracle. I thought I had those two figures over here to show you, but I don't have them there. Nice to see you there, Zach. Happy Saturday, and thank you so much for the birthday. Hellos, appreciate that. So yeah, I'm gonna try to get later tonight. I'm gonna try and get that Wapelius Spellbrush figure all prepped up. Try and get that prepped and ready to go for the hopefully the Monday birthday-versary stream or stream a birthday, stream a birthday. Wow, that's kind of a funky sounding thing. Stream a birthday. Yeah, that sounds like something really like something you're not supposed to watch on TV. Doesn't sound like it's anything fun. Here, what we are going to do that's fun is take some of this Prussian blue here, almost do a pin line wash with it. Now again, I just chose the non-helmeted version of them just for, well, funsies. We already have the other two guys with helmets, and kind of does distinguish them even more as, well, an individual type figure. Okay, we got all kinds of junk getting here on the brush. So Zach approves of the stream of birthery. I just have to remember that now. So Bithron's going to have to shoot me another reminder message. And Bithron, thanks for shooting me the... I still have to look at the Make It Epic stuff, but I do have some paint coming this way. And I did get the those other sets, those of the Shatterpoint stuff. That's coming this way. So your reminders were not sent in vain. So Arctic Wolf, I'm here in Chicago. So yeah, I'm in Chicago here. Now, I have many times done the classes at Adepticon, because that's kind of our home convention, being, well, from Chicago, right? The live classes, they tend to be kind of problematic, because I can't really have that many people in the class. I ideally would only have 6. That's kind of difficult for having classes. So yeah, ideally I would only have 6 folks in there in the class. So it makes it really, really difficult to do something like that. Now that's about okay, it shows that these are, well, is it just the front of them? It's just sort of the front of them there. Now yeah, Arctic Wolf, born and bred here in Chicago. And of course, the Bone Sylvania Dracula figure. And Black Skull, that's actually a really good exercise. Yeah, we could just call it a value study. So here I'll show you know what? I'm just going to do the whole darn thing here. Let's just do the whole thing. I didn't show it on the picture, but here is. So this is a little value study I did. It's one of my painting videos for the Patreon page, a Dark Sword video. I just wanted to show folks that maybe you're new to the oil paints. When I was new to watercolors, it was a 10-month class at the academy. For the first 3 months, we painted with brown. Nothing else, just brown. So maybe that's something you do. Take a light color, a dark color, and just use those. Do a value study. I mean, why struggle with the medium and everything else, plus all the different colors? Maybe just do the value study thing. Make it chill, right? Thanks, ROS Workshop. It was fun to do that. It was a little bit maddening because I would have loved to have put some other really nifty warm browns and some basic Indian yellow in some spots and some cooler grays, but that's not what we had, right? We worked with what we had, and it all that was Again, it made a nice little lesson, and that's something that I definitely recommend for folks who especially are new to the oil paints. Now let's do yeah, blades. I know the last Adepticon I did, I think it was three. Well, technically four classes. It was three. There was a fourth one, but that was not for the general public. That was for the Geek Nation folks. Ah, that one. That's always a Thursday class there. The Sunday morning. That was brutal. That Sunday morning when that was nasty because I was up all night having to pack up everything in Fort Wapple because I knew there was going to be no time for me to pack up my stuff there before they started to tear it down because that was going to take place while I was doing my class. So yeah, if I'm doing any classes, there will never be a Sunday class again. Not at all, because that was no bueno. That was rough. It is a lot of, there's a ton of prepping that goes into those things, and unfortunately I just really don't have the time to do that. A lot of folks, a lot of the teachers, instructors, whatever, they kind of use the classes to finance their trip to Adepticon. I don't need to do that because Adepticon is 40 minutes from my house. So that's not kind of the purpose behind it. Is this blue? Oh, that's black. Okay, that's all right. We'll stick to whatever the so-called box art is. So Bithron, yeah, they take down Fort Wappo because they have to be. That's not in that's not in a ballroom or something like that. That's literally out in the hallway. So that has to be gone by a certain time. And unfortunately, my class was running at the same time. So yeah, I had to just take it all down, unfortunately, the night before. It is what it is, right? And yeah, that was the other problem, Blades, is that it required a lot of setup too. And there were times where the other person would still be teaching, and it was 10 minutes away from the time that I was supposed to be teaching myself. So that's another thing that's just a little bit problematic about the classes. But if you remember, we have ourselves a dastardly plan, which is to just not do any classes at all and just be out there in Fort Wapple doing live demos, right? With hopefully somebody gets me a TV screen. We set up the camera, and I'm just doing demos all day, every day, with my magical little voice machine. So yes, just hanging out there in the Fort Wappo, having a blast. So here we go. Look at this. See all these rough, nasty little edges there? That's what we find ourselves a blending brush and make them be not so nasty anymore. Now here I'm just gonna drop some of this down in there. Let it do its thing. So Anzabal, I hope that you're doing well. Hopefully you had yourself a glorious Saturday. Hopefully everybody had a glorious Saturday for sure. And yeah, the cake, it was very yummy. Like I said, I was not expecting any of that. So they definitely pulled off the surprise there. You know, that's not always the easiest thing to do. Especially with me, where sometimes I'm just, well, I can't do this, I can't do that. So they took a chance, and no wonder Tina was gone for a while. It's like, where the heck did they go? They were here, then they're gone. Now that's because they were being tricksy little hobbitses. They were being tricksy little hobbitses there. They were off doing some stuff. I can say it was not my 111th birthday. And I'm not even going to try and recite his line of let's say I know half of you as well as I'd like to know you, or whatever that was. Because nobody understood his joke when he told it. So I'm not going to repeat that joke. It ain't going to make any more sense. Look at this. See this Prussian blue down over here in the corner? I mean, it looks completely dry. That's the interesting thing about these sort of pin line wash. So here we go. We're just going to throw in a little bit more of this. We've got, I realize we got some more of this to hit right here. And then we're going to hit this. And it's almost a pin line wash, but it's not. You can see that it doesn't go all over the place. We have full control over this. Like so. And, where's the... So here you can see that actually, when he actually has these little, well, looks like kill marks or something like that on his arm there. So, which arm is that? That's this arm over here. Okay, just trying to keep track of that. Looks like, okay, if it's gonna come down this way, then I won't guess it comes down this way. And, well, then this way too. So Sarge, this is just tree bark right here. Oh, where's there? You can see it a little bit easier on this one, I think. So I use the tree bark here because obviously it has the same sort of striations as this does. I don't think you can, well, not here so much. Yeah, that was just, actually I think these were applied directly to the base. Directly to the base there. I don't know half of you as well as I should like, and I like less than half of you half as well as you deserve. Yeah, okay, that's a handful, right, Grand Oracle? Thanks for writing that, because there was no way I was going to remember all that. Wouldn't have mattered how many times I've seen that particular scene. I was not going to remember that. Nope, no chance. Let's see. Well, Ansible, that's... I know you're going to enjoy that. Hopefully that opens up a whole lot of other things for you that you just maybe haven't been able to do since you haven't had that sort of an area. So yeah, I hope that all works out really well for you. 53 minutes ago. No paint on this guy. No paint. Just saying. Yeah, Ansible, I'm really glad that you were able to get something like that going. I mean, one of the reasons, I guess it's a good thing. Well, no, it wasn't a good thing, but it could have been much worse if I was still relying on the airbrush, and this situation played out over the last year. So I suppose it was less catastrophic anyway. Hey there, Armored Wolf, how you doing? Ansible, the last time I touched an airbrush, I believe, was 2 years ago. I mean, it's not the first time. When I was doing my watercolors and such, I had all kinds of... I had more fancy airbrush equipment than I did when I even started using it again. But for various reasons, I stopped doing the airbrush stuff. All of that basically kind of became inoperable. So I got used to not having the airbrush. Then as things continue to kind of escalate here and get worse, well, then I had to, that was one of the first things to go, was the airbrush stuff. Yeah, there was no me being down in the basement for hours at a time or even a half an hour doing stuff like airbrushing. That's why even the printing was suffering big time. Now, as we rebuild things here, that is something that I'm going to try and rebuild. Not so much for airbrushing miniatures, but more for giant pieces of terrain and or painting backdrops. So that's what I want to try and do is, again, as we rebuild that garage, that's probably an area where I would try to film some tutorials of me painting basically some backdrops for my gaming boards. And Ansible, like you just said, right, at a certain point with the oil paints, you just kind of ask why. It's just not needed. I mean, some of the stuff that I was just doing here to get some of the blends on his legs, I said, That would be insane, trying to fool around with an airbrush to do that. Why would I want to do that? Oh, Ansible, that sounds like that was really a blast. Now, I could see a lot of people wanting something customized like that, and I'm sure they looked fantastic. Hey, Vic, nice to see you again. What? I almost reached for the pigment container, but I think I made a very successful mix of our homemade red fluorescent paint, because this, I mean, it's not dry. I wasn't expecting it to be, because reds always take longer to dry, but it's way less shiny than I expected it to be, which is really cool. So he worked out really well. Let me see. So yeah, thanks again, Armored Wolf, for showing up again. Everybody, please, if you could, check out Armored Wolf. Please check out Armored Wolf on the Instagrams there. Armored Wolf's amazing dice bags and all things leather, metalworking. There we are. So yeah, Armored Wolf, I thought maybe I could get this going at 7:30, but there was just too many other things that I had to do first. Well, one of them actually was eat food, ironically enough. I didn't think I was going to need to get some more, but I figured, I better get some food. Alright, so we're starting to get some lighter skin tones there. We might come back with some of our greenish grays to take care of that. Because, reasons. Let's see if we can't lighten up this side of his face. Now, this would almost need to, in some ways, get a little bit more of our greens there. Because, we have all this blue over here, don't we? But Grand Oracle, that's why this terrain, painting this stuff in the oils should be a really interesting experiment, don't you think? Now, I'm just going to grab me some of this. Again, this is not anywhere near as good as the Black 3.0. However, as a first layer, it's pretty effective. It's also way easier to work with. So it does have its benefits compared to the Blackest Black 3.0. Again, it's not as effective as far as really being super matte and super dark. However, it applies a little bit easier. And again, it's good as a first layer. Does the job. There's a Valfera in the chat. Hopefully hopefully that Valfera in the chat is feeling a little bit better than the Valfera of last week and the week before. So Valfera, nice to see you again. Today was it was much more pleasant than I expected it to be. So I'll definitely take that as a win. Yes, indeed. I was very grateful. So there was birthday cake involved, and even there was a poem read, and there was a birthday song sung. So yeah, that was pretty cool. Hopefully your day, probably didn't have happy birthday singing involved, but hopefully your day was, again, a little bit nicer, a little bit easier to get to the end of. We're at 10:47 here, so we're starting to work towards the end of our day here. Now here's some of that Perline Black. Just gonna throw some of this in here. And then we'll get some of our red. But now here we really need to get some of that greenish gray. Why? Because of the blue right here. Alright, so again, we're going to keep getting some more of our Prussian blue here. And then maybe a little bit of our radiant blue involved. Valfera, again, I hope that hopefully by your birthday, you'll be able to, enjoy some more emotion, some more ambulatory action there. That would be fun, being able to move around. And just going to throw some of this here, some of this lighter Prussian blue down in a few areas. Also, okay, that's right. Almost got a little bit hasty right there. So the golden high flow, you were saying, Grand Oracle, those work really well through the airbrush there. Now, did you, was it really PSI dependent, or did it not really matter? Well, you know me, if it ain't at 50 PSI, you barely got air going through it. Now, that's my own particular brand of craziness right there. Yeah, people would ask me where they'd say, so what PSI are you working at? And I would point to Ken, who would be about 6 feet away. Say, if I can hit him from here, it must be around 50 PSI. It was always fun to see Ken's reaction. And just, basically all he felt was like this little bit of a cold, moist sensation on his arm. That was always fun. So leaf painting, again, I really hope that you've been having lots of success with the things that you've been working on lately. Let me see if I can't get some light over here too. Yeah, let's do that. Like so. There too. Because it's always fun when other folks, like Punexpected, Green Fairy Studios, right? They were trying different colors, and they'd say, "Look, yeah, you just have to try this. There's a use for it," and we did, and we found uses for them. So yeah, Luminous. I believe it's tomorrow. That new light is supposed to show up. Have no idea how to change that. Never done that before. So leaf painting, I think that's, hey, Grand Oracle, wouldn't you say that's similar to, say, an old Holland pricing there? That to me sounds very similar. Now, what are the 3 different Schminke? There's, or is it just Norma and Musina? Or is there a third one? I know that Norma and Musina are 2 different. That's not a person. That's a... basically, one is more of an artist grade, and another one is more of an academy/student grade. Once again, we're going to use our magic blending brush on that. So Velfair, happy birthday in advance, of course. Here, let's put a little bit more of this. Let's see, your birthday wish. I have a feeling I know what that would be. Is no more medical things. Yeah. I'm gonna guess that's your 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th birthday wish. No more of that stuff. Yeah, leaf painting. When I first got that stuff, all I was really trying to do was to essentially try and replicate what the oil brushers were, and I was really using them in conjunction with the MIG ammo stuff. So it's almost like the MIG ammo stuff was my artist grade, and the Wintons, that was sort of my student grade, just grunt stuff. But then as things expanded here, we said, no, we got to do a little bit better than that. Let's see. So Michael Harding's series 1 and 2 is 18 to 24. That's not super horrible. I mean, okay, so it's basically about $8 more ish. Yeah, Luminous, it looks, in some ways it looks a little bit like swapping out a memory chip. I mean, if I were to say just the first thing that comes to mind, kind of looks like a memory chip. A very big one, very flat one too, but it does look a little bit like a memory chip. Now, Luminous, I don't know if it's going to work, because once again, why would large-scale stuff work? And busts and all the big things, but only the small stuff. But like we were talking about on the stream yesterday, when you calculate just the usage time, the amount of times I've used that stuff, it does kind of, I'm not like out of my mind, to think that I've just basically worn out the light with too much use. Let's see. So, does it actually trump? Was it Yinmin Blue Grand Oracle? Because Yinmin Blue is something like a tiny tube is $100 or something. But again, there comes a point where, again, if I'm getting just the paint for my commission stuff, well, if it's $100 a tube, but after 10 miniatures it's going to more than make its money back in time saved or quality or whatever, that's worth it. So I would definitely, again, it's not, I'm not opposed to a color, well, like a quinacridone golden brown. If that color does nifty things, I will I'll we'll kind of grin and bear it as we purchase it. So Leaf Painting says that lapis lazuli is 105 for a 40 mil tube. Yeah, boy, lapis lazuli, that's been a coveted pigment for gee whiz, forever. Thousands and thousands of years. So it's understandable. Now this, I might have to, well, I'm gonna have to come back into this with some more darks after that has a chance to set, because we're only 1 hour 13 minutes in, by the way. Just 1 hour 13 minutes in. We have lots more light we can do, dark, all that good stuff. Look at this here. I just say, you know what? What's a hassle is trying to get in there and do a bunch of layers. So we take just some paint, shove that down in there. Hashtag no layers. Take a blending brush to it. Oh my goodness. Look at that. Because people will say, oh, wow, you're going to have a hard time getting around this, painting that. No. Not with the oils. With the acrylics, that's an oh my gosh. We used to paint every single figure on a dowel rod. Well, in the initial days it was a pin vise, but then we would have needed 100 pin vices. So there would be a dowel rod in my hand. There would be, basically a paper clip sticking from the dowel rod into the foot of the miniature, and I would paint the miniature separate from the base. Sounds very logical, but there are some issues with that. Here, I'll just use this, and this one maybe as an example. So you see those shadows on the base right there? Yeah, if I've got that figure sitting on a pin, not on the base, and I'm painting the base separately, guess who's probably not going to be painting that shadow there? That would be moi, or you. Boy, Anzabal, I still kind of have to use them. Because sometimes, there are either situations of timing, deadlines, whatever, so sometimes I still do have to utilize the acrylics, or like the Creature Caster acrylics, they desperately want me to try those. So I'll give them a try. We'll do some tutorial videos with them. They will obviously be open for the first time on camera. I'm not going to try them out or anything like that, because we want a genuine out of the box, here's what we really think of these, instead of, I've used them several times and we already know the ins and outs of them. We had to do it with the oils. There's been certain oil paints where Indian yellow was one of those colors. Right, Grand Oracle, Landdress. Remember the first time I used it, I was like, whoa, I don't know about this. Because I was not expecting it to be almost like a fluorescent paint, and that it was super, super chunky, but incredibly translucent. Still get looking for a couple of edges here. Sometimes we just got to let that paint set. We can only do so much, but you can see there's no layers here. Didn't mix anything. This is basically just my fast matte white. I'm just going to let it mix with the pre-glaze. Mixing with the pre-glaze, right? That was the #1 hit song ever since about 2020. Yes, mixing with the pre-glaze. It's been topping the charts. Now let's get some more of our light down here. We'll also have to get some more of our tan coloration down here for sure. So yeah, I haven't even looked. I don't even know if Yinmin Blue is even available on Dick Blick anymore. Now, of course, again, I don't think Stila has streamed in a while, but she did actually get, as a present, she did get a tube of the Yinmin Blue. Or she got the pigment and then she made a tube. I think that's how that went. So again, see, I just used my blending brush to soften that up. We will be coming back in with some darker stuff here too. We will be doing that. We're going to, again, see what we can do. This is some of our fast matte white, a little bit thinner. Not a ton, just a little bit. So hopefully if all goes well and we get that Wapelia spell brush figure all prepped, we'll be able to paint that on our Monday. What was that called again? Stream of Birthery? Yeah, that is a pretty weird name for it. Again, doesn't really roll off the tongue super easily. We gotta get his gotta get some of this on his hand as well. Yeah, let's get these little guys here. Thin up some of the Prussian blue line there. There is some thinner on this brush, I'll say that, but you can see it's not a pin line wash. There's enough to maybe help it flow a little easier, but not not so much to turn it into a pin line wash. Otherwise, it would just go right down in all those crevices everywhere. All right, let's keep going. Yeah, a little bit more of our light here too. Like so. Alright, let's do a little bit more of our light up there. Maybe down here. We will be coming back in with some more of our dark and little more reflected light down here. Just a smidge more. Nothing crazy there. I think the rest of that we can do by making it darker, because when in doubt, make things darker. That's in the Book of Wapol, right? And of course, again, there will be, at least this is the plan anyway, to use this on my base. There's 1 or 2 books there. All the chapters of the Book of Wapol right there. And that's going to go on that base with me. So yeah, that's the Grand Oracle. I used to do that on every single miniature. And then I don't remember exactly when I realized, and I'm doing this because. And I went, so I spent all this time to do that, only to do the whole pre-glaze thing on top of it. And I said, well, yeah, I don't think I need to do that anymore. Now, let's see if you have some of the dark in place. Now, let's do this. Let's grab some of this here. See, we got this here. We are going to reflect that over here. And we're going to take a blending brush like this. Make sure there's no paint on it. Very soft, just a craft brush there. Here, let's align this. Now, we're not doing this. We're not dragging the brush this way. All it's going to do is smear it, maybe even wipe it off. Right here, you can see it's kind of a tap motion there. That's smoother than anything an airbrush is going to do, or at least as smooth. However, I didn't have to mask anything off, or wear a mask for that matter. So again, there's all these little side benefits to that. And of course, Yeah, you approach the oils the way you need them to. Whatever's going to help you have more success, maybe get things done faster. Then that's what you do, even if it's different than what we do here. Nah, just because it's different than what we do here, that doesn't mean you should not try it yourself. You just say, all right, look, the brands of paint I can get, the brushes, the miniatures I want to paint. Maybe that situation requires that you do something a little bit different. Now, this is a bit more universal here. Look at this. My hand is quite literally closer to the back of the brush by maybe 1/4 of an inch than to the tip of that Y. Because if I do this death grip thing, how am I supposed to get at that? Here, though, watch, we'll get some of this. Finger goes here. I literally just have 2 fingers on the brush. And you see this brush shaking around? No, you don't. Nope. And look at this. I can basically reach right around his head and get to some of these things right here. Like so. So yeah, think of an active zenithal. That's what we call the pre-glaze. Think of it as basically a zenithal priming that you can then mix other colors with later. And by later, I mean basically the entire time we're painting on this guy, we're going to be mixing with that pre-glaze the whole time. Now here we had much more success with the crackle texture there. So I don't think I have to paint in quite so much as what we did on the last one, where I basically had to paint all that stuff in. I think here we can save a bunch of that. So yeah, last night I was able to do plenty of work on the base here. I primed him up as soon as I got home, and once that primer was dry, then we started streaming. And we're going to do some more of our light stuff over here. And we're focusing on these sort of edges that are closest to us. Now I want to do some of this because we want to leave some of the his armor here. We want to let that have a chance to set, don't we? Let's leave that have some time to set, 15, 20 minutes, whatever. Work on something else. We always suggest either you're working on other miniatures, or if it's a large figure, a bust, large scale, whatever. Just don't leave yourself stuck in one area. Now, we're going to get a little bit of Terra Rosa here. Let's do some of that out here. Again, just to change up the color on this. We've done it on all the other ones. Just like this. Here's some more. Maybe I'll throw a little bit down here. So this is actually a combination, believe it or not, of the crackle paste and my homemade texture paste, which nothing fancy about it. It's just a tile grout and some glue. Just a little bit of glue to help it flow a little bit more. That stuff is really strong. Wow. It's pretty much the strongest of all of the, texture paste that I have. It's also the cheapest. So we'll just work on a little bit of this out here again while the stuff on the armor has a chance to set. Then after we fool around with this for a bit, we're going to maybe work on those guns, because I think it's safe to say our little pin line wash that we did on that 25-30 minutes ago, it looks like that's pretty well set. We've been working on this for 86 minutes. 86 minutes ago, that's all it was just primer. Not saying, I'm just saying. Really, that's what I'm doing. I'm saying, hey, that was just primer 86 minutes ago. I think there's some folks that would not be opposed less than 2 hours getting something like this. Somehow I think people would say, yeah, I'm down with that. Because even something smaller like a Shatterpoint box, I mean, even if it's 2 hours per miniature, but again, you're getting results like this here. You said, that's okay. 2 hours a miniature, I can get that. There's 16-ish miniatures in there, whatever. Well, I guess if you count all the droids, there's 6 right there. 2 batches of 3. Yeah, Grand Oracle. I mean, it's and sometimes it's more dramatic, like in the case of the well, I was almost gonna say Tomb Kings, but like our Ossiarchs. So Grand Oracle has achieved the 150 gift. Now, Grand Oracle, does that unlock an emote or something like that? And thank you so much. Appreciate that, Armored Wolf. So that is the YouTube channel, the Instagrams. Thank you so much. So Recall's Mom, how are you? Well, Recall's Mom, I'm glad that you were able to be with us last night. And hopefully that was able to just kind of make no fun being there. Wasn't going to make it fun to be there, but hopefully just a little less of a hassle. I mean, I don't want to say make it feel like home, but like make it feel less like it's not home. So everybody say hello to Rico's mom. And let's everybody wish Rico's mom all the best. All the best to definitely get better. So that was fantastic to be able to talk to you without actually talking to you, if that makes any sense. I know I was kind of referred to as, I'm just talking to all my friends here on Twitch. Some might say I'm just talking to myself, but no. So yeah, Grand Oracle, I know, oh gosh, what is it? Like you can get Woody and Rocky and Mr. Giggles, right? You can get those, or is that the what am I talking about? Oh, the cheers and the bits. Maybe that's it. Now, I'll just try and get a couple more things of later before we come back with our darks, I would say. To see what we can do with this here again along this line. Yeah, now we'll just come back with some of our darks there. Alright, what I want to do is I always want to make sure and double checking our, oh wait a minute, not that. Focus. That's what I wanted to check there. Okay, I think we're a little bit better now on some of our focus. Let me see what we can do here with some more of our, again, this is our fast matte white here. There we go. So yeah, I think we're still just 4 follows away from a really fun number. That's all we need, 4 more. Thanks, Armored Wolf. Appreciate that. And of course, you know what? I believe I have this here. So a mere 24,000 to get to Prinkles. There's the GoFundMe thing right there. That's also happening. Again, that's to try and take care of all of the really massive stuff around the house that unfortunately over the last, well, really the last 2 years, but especially the last year, there was nothing that I could do about that stuff. And now it is beyond my ability to do by myself. Well, it kind of was before. It just was the level of danger, pretty much. But then my family, they saw the level of danger, and they said, yeah, we're not going to let you be doing that anymore. They said, no more mountain climbing for you on those ladders, no more roofs. But that also does require a little bit of scratch. So here we're going to get this stuff right here. When I did the pin line wash on this stuff, if I had done anything like this right after that, it would have been quite the disaster. So yeah, the GoFundMe thing, Armored Wolf, that's gonna basically be, well, it's a long running thing because again, it's a slow burn, as they say. Um, I think I've maybe that's been going what since I think it's at least 3 weeks or so. I've only actually seen maybe a third of it so far. Yeah, not even 30%. But because there's a lot of levels of approval that has to go through it. So yeah, that's not. It's not like the contributions that happen here where it goes boom right into the PayPal and such. Now you only get a little bit more light over there too. So that'll be going as long as all these really heavy duty projects are what's on tap. And that's certainly going to be the rest of this year. But Grand Oracle, you should probably have that done by the Monday stream, wouldn't you say? Only 24,000? Yeah, who knows? You might get half of that done tonight. Especially if someone else in your house is not watching. That might be the operative thing. Doing it, I don't want to go too much lighter on that. However, this little collar right here, and we have been doing that lighter on our other, I almost said Mandalorians there. We painted way too many of those now, that's for sure. So yeah, Grand Old Guide, I appreciate whatever that you can do. I mean, she would kind of notice, right? She'd say, so wait a second, what's been going on here? And you'd say, nothing. Nothing at all. Alright, we're gonna get some more of that light over here. Yeah, we'll do something like that. And then we'll do something right here. So this is starting to get more towards our light. We also need to get some skin tone back here too. Why don't we do that? I'll go back to my Terra Rosa here, and then we'll just let that blend with, again, some of our pre-glaze here, so it doesn't get too light. Geez, Grand Oracle, and I thought I had a lot. I think I'm somewhere in the neighborhood of 10-ish. There's the Lord of the Rings ones, obviously those, and then of course Archvillain, Lost Kingdoms, Highland Miniatures, no, not Artisan Guild. I thought I was, but I looked and I'm like, oh, I'm not actually on Artisan Guild. Got to get to them. But Laminessa, there's so many fantastic ones, right? Clay Cyanide is another really fun one. Of course, Dragon Trapper Lodge is good. White Wolf Tavern is another really good one. Again, I would subscribe to so many of those if I could just get them printed out. That would be kind of the bigger issue, is getting those actually printed out somehow. Okay, that doesn't. I'm gonna make a change there. All right, no problem. We can do that. We can make changes here. Just take some of my Perline Black, and we'll just, there you go. Actually, that worked out really well. The hair, what are we going to do with that? We're not going to give him red here. I think I will here. Maybe we'll go to some of our... I was just about to use some of the brown matter, but I think we'll skip that maybe here. What Grand Oracle? Do you sometimes just say, okay, I realize that I'm going to lose out on a, what would you call it, the long stay, or the, the consecutive months of subscribing where you get those, the free files, right? The loyalty things, right? Do you sometimes just say, well, as much as I would like one of those, I would sometimes you just go, I'm going to subscribe to this one, and maybe then next month or so come back to it or something. Yeah, Grand Oracle. Of course, I appreciate everybody that supports the Patreon page. That in addition to all the other the stuff here on the channel and the Amazon wish list things and stuff, that really that kept us going. And as I look back on everything that happened, it's even more stark. I want to try this. Let me see what happens with the asphaltum and radiant red. I just realized I wasn't radiant magenta. Boy, Gaz, there's some definitely nostalgia there. I mean, it definitely, obviously, it really does it captures that sort of a vibe there. I could swear I even have some. Are they mid-noir dwarves? Because there was a couple of them, right? I think the mid-noir dwarves. I think Kathy really liked those. Yeah, Grand Oracle. In some ways, I've kind of gone more towards the. I'll just get some individual files. Now, in the case of, say, the Archvillain, Lost Kingdom, Titan Forge, oh, that's another one. Since they do, well, armies, effectively, those, well, they're really good for army painting series. Again, much as I would love to do, say, the Dragon Trapper Lodge, as I get more of the asphaltum, I just realized that's not brown matter over there, that's the asphaltum. Oh, okay, so I'm not, I wasn't imagining things, then those are some mid-noir dwarves, okay. Let's, ooh, that's a little too much there. Are they up there? Up here. Maybe, let's see if I can get a little bit of the dark on his mouth here. Just a little bit. On the upper lip. Some down there. I'll have to also give him some eyes too. Don't want to forget about that. Boy, Grand Oracle, I tried printing out some of the Lord of the Print stuff, and it just, well, I think maybe a couple of things I should have just printed it out bigger. Maybe just made 72 mil files out of them, because, hey, that would have been cool. So that's something I should maybe do with those. But yeah, the bigger stuff, I just need a bigger printer to do those. Now here, remember we were talking about not just getting some darks in there, but also that's more of that same color that we're looking to impart. So about this up here. So see, we got that hard line, hard to reach, except for a blending brush, which just gets after it. Fantastic. Yeah, guys. Well, and the nice thing, that believe it or not, they're actually more solid than the Confrontation miniatures, which had a disturbing amount of lead in the mix, which made them really smushy, very soft. I don't know how many of those things basically broke off at the ankles, because you had a metal miniature, right, with all that weight on those skinny ankles. Now here, you see a little bit of an edge there. See that losing, using the blending brush takes away some of that. I'm gonna try some blue. No, more of the asphaltum here. There we go. A little bit of tap there. We'll probably throw some more light on this too, because well, reasons. some more here. Oh. Wow, okay, I'm going to go to the, this is our indigo and our Mars black here. Try and really bring in some darks here. Have to come back in once again with some more of our lights too. It's another place. And of course, even on our Hoodoo rocks, we're going to have to do a little bit of chucking some darks in there. Probably asphaltum, and maybe we'll just go with the asphaltum because that's it's darker than the brown matter. So that means we don't really have to infuse it like we were last time with, say, the brown, or no, the Van Dyke brown and or the Egyptian violet. Ooh, look at that, yeah. Again, it's not like I don't like the asphaltum coat. It's a really nifty one. Sometimes I just kind of forget. And I'm pretty sure that asphaltum is a Series 2 color here. Oh, no, it's a Series 3. Okay, so that's a Series 3, whereas the brown matter is a Series 1. So it's not like it's 3 times as expensive, but I think you know where I'm going with that. We'll have to get some more of our light back here too. This is as much about changing some of the color back here. And it's not just lines. We're not doing, this is the non-dark lining approach here. You can see we're actually throwing in some shapes there, aren't we? Must make sure we have shapes. Shapes, not lines. It's not a pin line wash. Is it kind of on the edge of that, sort of? But you can see it's not. It doesn't just kind of wander off into every little crevice, which is what it would do if it were a pin line wash. Again, this is that asphaltum here, a sort of a dark reddish brown. That I wouldn't say it's a staining color, but if you leave it on there, that's probably why we were getting a little more staining here than especially than the brown matter. Definitely has more than that. So Gaz, that well, diazonine violet. I mean, obviously the Williamsburg is the king of all violets, but when I did that test video, it showed that any I almost said Egyptian violet, any of the diazonine violets, they're going to be staining also the Indian yellow. Those are two of the biggest super staining colors. Indigo, well, especially say the Williamsburg indigo, that's pretty spicy too. So glad that you're enjoying that Gaz. Glad that's working out. I'm even gonna use a little bit of that asphaltum down here, say, like so. So glad that you were able to get that. And let's see. So was that like a Series 2? I want to say. I don't know what I did with my Gamblin Egyptian, or no, I don't have that in here. I don't know how much that was. So it's only a Series 2. Oh, that's even better. Because, well, the Egyptian violet, not only is it Williamsburg, it's also a Series 5. So that a little bit of a doomsday scenario for the wallet in some cases. So that just, again, another something else to think about. Again, we got to give him some eyes here. There we go. Kind of looking off in this direction. There's a whole bunch of, oh, wait, now I can zoom in here now that we got all of our beefy stuff there. I can zoom in on them a little bit more. There you go. That's more like it. Okay, I'm gonna cut away at some of. We need to get more reflected light on that, and also more over here too on this side of things. Now let's back to our indigo Van Dyke brown mix. In a second, I'm also gonna go back to my reference and try and clean up some lines here. Now, of course, on the clone troopers, on their shoulders and stuff, they had a little bit more of the battle damage stuff going on. We've kept them a little bit more on the pristine side, kind of choosing to save that for, say, the well, if you want to call them the bad guy Mandalorians, for lack of a better term. And again, we'll just keep going with some of our dark up here. We're gonna reinforce a couple of edges there. And by the way, less than 2 hours, right? Less than 2 hours ago, this was merely primer and absolutely nothing else. Now, yesterday or last night, it was inquired, with this crackle tech, did we do a pin line wash? We didn't last night, but tonight I'm going to try and do that here. This is still pretty narrow stuff here. And all I can do is touch the brush to it, and it kind of goes where it goes. Can't do much more than that. Also have to be thinking about a shadow that he would cast, right? He's kind of blocking the light from getting down here. Now, Grand Oracle, I don't remember Signum having any really large creatures. I don't think that's really something they do. And I also don't remember them doing a bust for some reason. Let's see if I can use one of my micro blending brushes here. Like this. Let me hit this a little bit more too. So the reason really focusing down here on the Fulton is to also again kind of reflect some of what's going on with our ground cover here. Yeah, we need to get some separation there. And then, we have some highlights that we missed over here. Not a problem. Not going to take terribly long. We'll maybe just use some of this here. There's not a whole lot of paint on that brush, that's for sure. Yet, that covers pretty well. I'm just going to get rid of that fuzzy thing there. I was doing this in such haste as far as the basing goes. Late last night after the stream, there were just strings of hot glue all over the place. As I said, I was trying to get this guy desperately primed as fast as I could. Yeah, there were strings of hot glue everywhere. That's just it is a faster method for getting something that's really rough like this Hoodoo rock attached to a base. That's yeah, Grand Oracle. There's really a lot of fun themes. And again, that's Signum. We have painted a number of Signum figures on the stream here. I've also done some tutorial videos. What was it? There was something, and maybe it was yesterday. It was one of those Facebook memories things, and talked about me doing a YouTube live. I guess apparently on this day in 2019. Always about contrast paints. That's what it was. Yeah. So there you go, Landres. Yeah, it was 4 years ago. We were doing a stream showing off what the contrast paints could do. Yeah, well, Grand Oracle, again, hopefully, well, the oils do provide a pathway to be able to get through those so that, well, you can print up lots and lots more and then have to paint more. Yes, it's all part of the grand scheme. More blending brush there. What about up here too? This is as much a brushstroke management now. So here, can't we just slap that paint there? Little tap, tap, tap to blend that. I'm actually gonna move this down a smidge if I can. There we are. Maybe also this away. So Gaz, that well, diazonine violet. I mean, obviously the Williamsburg is the king of all violets, but when I did that test video, it showed that any I almost said Egyptian violet, any of the diazonine violets, they're going to be staining also the Indian yellow. Those are two of the biggest super staining colors. Indigo, well, especially say the Williamsburg indigo, that's pretty spicy too. So glad that you're enjoying that, Gaz. Glad that's working out. I'm even gonna use a little bit of that asphaltum down here, say, like so. So glad that you were able to get that. And let's see. So was that like a series 2? I want to say. I don't know what I did with my Gamblin Egyptian, or no, I don't have that in here. I don't know how much that was. So it's only a series 2. Oh, that's even better. Because, well, the Egyptian violet, not only is it Williamsburg, it's also a series 5. So that a little bit of a doomsday scenario for the wallet in some cases. So that just, again, another something else to think about. Okay, we got to give him some eyes here. There we go. Kind of looking off in this direction. There's there's a whole bunch of, wait, now I can zoom in here now that we got all of our beefy stuff there. I can zoom in on them a little bit more. There you go. That's more like it. Okay, I'm gonna cut away at some of. We need to get more reflected light on that, and also more over here too on this side of things. Now let's back to our indigo Van Dyke brown mix. In a second, I'm also gonna go back to my reference and try and clean up some lines here. Now, of course, on the clone troopers, on their shoulders and stuff, they had a little bit more of the battle damage stuff going on. We've kept them a little bit more on the pristine side, kind of choosing to save that for, say, the well, if you want to call them the bad guy Mandalorians, for lack of a better term. And again, we'll just keep going with some of our dark up here. We're gonna reinforce a couple of edges there. And by the way, less than 2 hours, right? Less than 2 hours ago, this was merely primer and absolutely nothing else. Now, yesterday or last night, it was inquired, with this crackle tech, did we do a pin line wash? We didn't last night, but tonight I'm going to try and do that here. This is still pretty narrow stuff here. And all I can do is touch the brush to it, and it kind of goes where it goes. Can't do much more than that. Also have to be thinking about a shadow that he would cast, right? He's kind of blocking the light from getting down here. Now Grand Oracle, I don't remember Signum having any really large creatures. I don't think that's really something they do. And I also don't remember them doing a bust for some reason. Let's see if I can use one of my micro blending brushes here. Like this. Let me hit this a little bit more too. So the reason really focusing down here on the Fulton is to also again kind of reflect some of what's going on with our ground cover here. Yeah, we need to get some separation there. And then, we have some highlights that we missed over here. Not a problem. Not going to take terribly long. We'll maybe just use some of this here. There's not a whole lot of paint on that brush, that's for sure. Yet, that covers pretty well. I'm just going to get rid of that fuzzy thing there. I was doing this in such haste as far as the basing goes. Late last night after the stream, there were just strings of hot glue all over the place. As I said, I was trying to get this guy desperately primed as fast as I could. Yeah, there were strings of hot glue everywhere. That's just it is a faster method for getting something that's really rough like this Hoodoo rock attached to a base. That's, yeah, Grand Oracle, there's really a lot of fun themes. And again, that's Signum. We have painted a number of Signum figures on the stream here. I've also done some tutorial videos. What was it? There was something, and maybe it was yesterday. It was one of those Facebook memories things, and talked about me doing a YouTube live. I guess apparently on this day in 2019. Oh, it was about contrast paints. That's what it was. Yeah. So there you go, Landres. Yeah, it was 4 years ago. We were doing a stream showing off what the contrast paints could do. Yeah, well, Grand Oracle, again, hopefully, well, the oils do provide a pathway to be able to get through those so that, well, you can print up lots and lots more and then have to paint more. Yes, it's all part of the grand scheme. More blending brush there. What about up here too? This is as much a brushstroke management now. So here, can't wait to slap that paint there. A little tap, tap, tap to blend that. I'm actually going to move this down a smidge if I can. There we are. Maybe also this away. So yes, this is the captain of the clone troopers here. So the clone troopers, they'll be all done. So we're going to hide this, and we're going to show you this. So look at this. They rate those the same. Now let's do a reveal here. I see a minor difference. This is see, we call it Terror Verte, and then this is our Van Dyke Brown. This is the actual paint on the label. That's one of the things I like about Williamsburg. I think Richardson does it, and my guess is Old Holland also does this here. But look at this. This is Williamsburg, right? This is a favorite. This is an absolute favorite here, but that is not a favorite. That was not pleased with that. Now, I might try to use this again based on things that I have learned, especially with, now this might look a little bit familiar here. Doesn't this look kind of a little bit like the Terra Verte? Yet we have found some major uses for this. So how many times have I told you? I said sometimes you just kind of learn things, right? Colors that maybe, also, of course, then there's colors like Payne's Gray that get wiped out because we learn things and we find other stuff that does more. So I think with the Gamut stuff, I think it said semi-translucent. I think that's why I said that. Otherwise, I usually would say semi-opaque. But I don't know, Grand Oracle. Ooh, here we go. Yes, we could do a color theory in oils with greens, trying out some older ones that didn't necessarily work out too well. Because guess what we didn't have back when I was first using the Terra Verte? We may not have had any of the radiant colors. That might change things. Because, well, guess what? With the ultramarine blue, what did we have that made it maybe more successful? The radiant colors. It's always worth an experiment, right? Also, be interesting to see that mixed with Indian yellow. So, well, that won't be a problem. I think we have subjects that have been prepared that we could maybe use for such a video. I also realized there's none of our lighter color got in this thing over here. None of our lighter color got over there. Here's some more down there. So yeah, Sarge, today was it was a barbecue kind of day because I got to do the picnic thing, and well, I think you heard as you were heading home there that while I was away, well, while we were away, because we were two of the main horseshoe players there, it was pretty much Hank,
hello, little hobbits, spark my gum.
His dad, Kathy, and I, and that's right, he wasn't there either. Thank you so much. Appreciate that, Jags Mini Studio. Thank you so much. Ooh, we're running a little bit low on that medicine. Running just a little bit lower on that. So Valferris, actually what I've got on the brush here is it's actually a mix of Brilliant Yellow Pale, a little bit of the Radiant Yellow, and even some of the Terra Rosa in there. But Quick Dry White, that's the stuff that has the alkyds in there. No, Fast Matte White, sorry. Fast Matte, not Quick Dry, but Fast Matte White. I have some more of the Quick Dry White headed this way. I used to use the Fast Matte White all the time. I'm kind of saving that for, well, terrain. Those backdrops that I want to paint right now. My tube of Quick Dry White is at the other house where I'm painting that giant mural. I think I sent you pictures of that, right, Valfera? And it is Winsor Newton Prussian green, so it's wow, Valfera, that well. Maybe that's why I got it. Because will it do this? Will it do this as a pre-glaze? And it's a Series 2, so not super expensive. I mean, we'll find out. We'll find that out. So I think I've done 2 stages of it. We filmed the first day. The second day, I'd never used a GoPro before, so I had no way to tell if it was on or not, and it was sadly not on. But we'll be recording again. Oh gosh, Thursday. I think that's the next day. I have to go over there and work some more on that mural. Okay, we're doing bag end, and of course the people, they insist that as long as that kid is hobbit sized, they're going to put a hobbit costume on him, make him stand in front of that thing and take a picture on Halloween or whenever. Then I thought, well, okay, once he grows out of that, then he doesn't have to worry. And then my sister said, well, no, they could just dress him up like Gandalf until he's about 200 years old. The older he gets, the more Gandalf he becomes. So, yeah, that poor kid is. I have cursed that, kind of like I've cursed you so many times to printer weirdness and falling and other bizarro incidents. Yes, I have now cursed this kid, condemned him to a life of being dressed up and taken pictures of in front of that wall. So something tells me that there might come a time where he takes a big old marker and maybe expresses his dissatisfaction with a few choice phrases written on that wall. Who knows? Maybe. Or maybe maybe he paints some kind of crude, rude images of Gandalf doing something he's not supposed to do in the bushes. I don't know. There's a well, he might do some actual pipe weed in that room. just saying, to be a little bit more rebellious there. Not quite sure what he's got in this little device thing over here, but again, we're just doing that best as we can. So we'll see how that goes. Again, that ruby madder alizarin. That I'm kind of curious to see how strong is that potential staining. Don't know. And then the pale rose for folks that maybe don't have brilliant yellow pale. That's kind of so instead of having to mix brilliant yellow pale and terra rosa together, maybe they could just use this pale rose and then not have to. I mean, obviously I use the brilliant yellow pale for many other things. But we'll see. And I want to have a blonde here. Don't want that. I like coming this way. Maybe we just leave his face in a little bit of a shadow there. Maybe let's get some darker stuff here. Skin that's a little bit of terra rosa. It's even mixing with some of our green. He's got himself one heck of a forehead. That is a mighty forehead that he's got here. Well, Valfera, you have yourself I really hope you have a fantastic night's sleep. You do that for me, because I'm not going to be getting very much sleep at all tonight. Didn't get much last night. That was kind of the I knew that was going to be one of the consequences of this weekend, as we'd be going back to very minimal amounts of sleep. Yeah, that definitely that worked out. When in doubt, make things darker, right? So Valfera, you have yourself a good one, and we haven't done one of these yet on this lad. So one more film noir for Valfera there. So yeah, you can. Plenty of shading there, but again, you can't see some of those color differences. You don't see the reflected color. Let me get our other one too, just so we have. Yeah, it's just easier to hold them like this. So again, look at the lower half of these. All right, bring back that color, and you're going to see. See all that kind of yellowish brown there? It's reflected. You don't see that when it's just the value. Boy, Sarge, those are those becoming more frequent, or is it just they just kind of go in bunches? Because it seems like you've had so many of those. Well, if we don't like this, we can change it. But I'm going to grab me some of this Van Dyke brown here, maybe. I was going to try and do one of those kind of hard edges with the horizon. I don't think we're going to do that here. Maybe we just keep that soft. Let's do that. Elite, I think we did really well mixing those that powdered pigment with the linseed oil, because while this is not dry, and I didn't expect it to be, it it definitely is nowhere near as shiny as I thought it was going to be at this point. So yeah, that really worked out very, very well. Now let me keep going. No, let's get some of this asphaltum and terra rosa together. That would also make a really good rust color, also a good chipping color, right? You want to do the chipping. Where's our our mighty tiger of the desert right here? So that's that and Van Dyke Brown would both be really good for doing the chipping on that. All that was done with the oil paint, start to finish. No primer, right, and no washes or something. That was just all done wet into wet like we would do any miniature. Same process. A little bit darker there. Let me get some, yeah, a little more dark in there. So that's the asphaltum. Mixed in with a little bit of that terra rosa. Yeah, sort of. Especially, I know you were talking about what's happening at work and stuff like that. So yes, where savings are possible, do the savings, right? Is it super convenient? No. Is it much cheaper? Yeah. Sometimes that's all that's going to matter. There's a lot of stuff that I've done here because, well, would it be really nifty to have a new something there? Yes, it would be. Would it be pricey? Also, yes. But you can't put a price on watching Drax. Drax is in the chat. How you doing there, Drax? Nice to see ya. That's it's the last of the clone troopers, which sounds like a show unto itself. So that's the Captain Rex figure, and then here's his buddies right there. So everybody, please give Drax a follow if you could. If you could do that, because Drax has been painting, well, I'm sure what must feel like thousands of Marvel Crisis Protocol figures on stream. Yes, indeed. So again, everybody, please give Drax a follow if you could. And of course, Drax, if you want to post your Instagram and of course that YouTube video, right, that has a lot of your figures prominently featured in it. Boy, Drax, I just keep waiting for there to be some new release or something like that. And just when you think you're free of it, I think this dude's wearing an earring. That either that's some really, really funky flash on the tiny part of his ear, or he's wearing an earring. I mean, maybe it could be either one. So Drax, whatever the box with Dooku is, that's supposed to be coming this way. I don't know. I got it from Miniature Market or whatever. I almost said My Mini Factory, but I got it from Miniature Market, so I don't know how long they take to get things this way. I also have some of the other boxes that are coming, but those are all pre-orders. I basically focused on the ones that were going to have, well, huge surprise, the most opportunities for object source lighting. So Elite, I remember, Lethal Shadows. That was something that he would always tell whenever we were having conversations together. He would say there's some transitions that just they don't just go 180 degrees, they go beyond 360. It's like they do a 360 and then back around again. Now we did actually put some of those little kill marks or something like that. So Grand Oracle, well, we're going to be living up to the Cavalry channel name soon enough because I have a whole bunch of those Moomoks, remember? Not Moomoks, but we need a little bit bigger streaming area for a whole bunch of Moomoks, but no, the Mahoods. All those camels, yes, we have a bunch of those. 5 of those we'll be painting up here on the channel. Also probably with on some videos, but I think that would be perfect for bringing back the asphaltum. I might even do a video just kind of comparing the asphaltum to the brown matter to maybe something like the that Italian brown earth color, and well, who knows? Maybe we even throw that. I know that's supposed to be for a skin tone video. Again, so Drax, if you want to post your Instagram links or anything like that, show folks in the chat all the nifty stuff that you've been painting on stream. I'm sure that would be really cool. Okay, fine. Throw a little bit of light down here, whatever. Such as it is. No, I'm going to go dark there. I was just about to throw this light in, and I said, no, all that's going to do is take away some of that tinting that I did with that tannish brown color. So let's go more of a Van Dyke brown here. And we'll do something like this, I think. Yeah. We'll do something more here. Kind of do like that transition, so we're just going to leave that. We'll leave that alone. Yeah. This, however, might get darkened up, mostly because it's in shadow. Even here on these things, yes, they are done as white on the whatever the official miniatures, if you want to call them that. Oh yeah, here's another edge that just needs to be sharpened up a little bit more, I think. Not going to make that any lighter. The tops of these, not necessarily either. Soften those. What about his? Oh yeah. Now his thumb. I think we need to. Well, we'll just do whatever here. Don't really care. This is actually some of our Indian yellow, or sorry, some of our brilliant yellow pale over here. We'll just put that on the thumb there, and a little bit here on his fingers. This never really did get any kind of reflected light down here. That's better. So yeah, I'm not quite sure when some of those boxes might be showing up. Again, at Miniature Market, I couldn't. It's been years, I think, since I last got stuff from them. And I'm fairly certain it was mostly clearance. I also might try to get some more of the Conquest stuff. Mostly kind of either focusing on adding on to what's already here, or certain figures that might look really good for some tutorials. I might try and throw some more, of our light here. So Drax with the 10th edition stuff. I know it's all. I think you can download all of it pretty much at this point now. Are you still thinking, okay, this is playable, or are you just kind of, you still have to really get down and really play it a couple times to see if it's as solid as people say it is? Guess I can make that a little bit lighter there too. Sneak in there we go, a little bit light in there. Maybe even make that ear a tiny bit lighter. Not so much over here, because we're going to see he's kind of in shadow on this side over here. A little bit more of our reflected light down there. The pre-glaze on this guy, simple as you could get. It was basically just a Van Dyke brown. Some places, especially down here and some up there, we did a little bit of the asphaltum. Now, this is what I'm wondering. We got this is the radiant red over here. Again, trying to create some options for folks that maybe aren't in the U.S. because unless you're aware of, say, Gerstecker and a couple of other outlets, people, it seems like they have some difficulties maybe getting even the gambling colors outside the U.S. Throw a little more of this over here, like so. Now, go back to some light here. Couple areas on our Hoodoo rocks. Again, these are 3D printed. Yeah, the bases are very plain. You can see just a tiny bit of the original base down here. So yeah, they're really, really plain. Not a whole lot going on. And apparently that's kind of how all the Marvel Crisis Protocol bases are, very plain. With not a whole bunch going on. And these definitely are apparently really, really similar to that. It is weird. I would have thought they would have gone a little bit further, say on the bases there, but it's all good. Now this is not a pin line washer. There's some of the really smallest texture that I'm going to try and draw in here, like we did on the other one. I just want some of that crackle effect to go all the way to the edge of the base, not absolutely everywhere, but just in a couple of spots here. Just in a few areas. Let me, yeah, on this over here, Asphalta mixed with the Terra Rosa. Maybe even sort of as a pin line. Well, not really, but sort of. Well, Bithra, I'm glad you had yourself a yummy snack. That's, yeah, I'm getting really, really, really hungry. Food was at very strange times there. I think, I didn't actually eat anything until probably 11:30 in the morning, maybe. So yeah, there was a wee bit of hunger involved there. Thanks so much, Armored Wolf, for posting a link to the Patreon page. We've been discussing some of the future videos that'll be done. I kind of this month I'll try and get to some of the army painting series. I think we're going to have a couple of episode 3s. One for the Howling Griffins. That's going to be these guys right here. I think we'll do an episode 3 for them, because again, it's always important to get things to a point where episode 3 stuff's going to dry afterwards, and that leads into episode 4. We want to make sure that we, again, if the paint's going to dry, we want it to be drying effectively, right? So we can actually use that actual drying time. Now here I'm going to take the Van Dyke, maybe even a little bit of the Mars Black here. Very much a dry brush. Look at this. That's how little paint is actually on the brush. Grand Oracle, that larger paint area. I've got remember the Dark Sword dragons that I prepped? And I believe one of them was the red dragon. So basically what I'm trying to do again is well, I have to go with things that are prepped. That's the one thing. That is the first order of business because everything is well, very crazy here. First order of business is to kind of tackle stuff that's already prepped, and I have a few dragons prepped for Dark Sword, and those will be the first. Well, the first dragon that I paint on a tutorial video, it'll be a Dark Sword dragon, that's for sure. I wish that brass dragon. Which one was it, Grand Oracle, that was missing a wing? Well, no, they sent 2 left wings. I just don't remember which the heck one it was, but one of those was well, had 2 of the same wing. I think it was the brass dragon or something like that. So we won't be painting him until another wing arrives at some point. Yeah, here I'm just gonna paint in some larger cracks there. Now the one thing that I haven't really figured out is exactly where the palette would go, and we might have to just, since it is going to be so huge, I might just have to have the palette in the camera view like we used to do in the old days, because trying to set up a palette cam would create a whole lot of mayhem, but maybe we'll be able to. Now part of it is I can't find the camera that I meant to use for that. Yes, that camera somehow has vamoosed. And it's basically the same type of camera. It was actually going to take the place of this one. But it didn't play nice with the Logitech software. Since the camera that I'm using on the other machine is all manual focus, manual everything, that's, well, hopefully not going to be an issue. So, yeah, I don't know. Hopefully I didn't darken it. Yeah, it's okay that it went all the way to the edge. That's all right. So yeah, we just did we just passed the 3-hour mark here. 3 hours ago, he was most definitely sans paint. He was just primer. We did our pre-glaze. We wiped that away with our sponges, and then we took our filbert brushes, right? Went in with some of those lighter colors. Doing the dry brushy thing over the top of that. So, I have to figure out some way of getting some more light down here. Let me see if I can do that. Just have to put him this way. Essentially some reflected light there. And these, use a little bit of an edge on them too. Now there won't be any glowing stuff on there because I don't believe we put any, unless we put torches on his bases, which I don't think we did. I don't think we did that. Like I said, that's probably maybe a Tuesday or probably a Wednesday filming adventure right there. Fast mat. Boy, but we have a little bit of the asphaltum on the brush, don't we? Oh well. Snag a little bit of our along that edge. Also down here. And then I think back here. For whatever reason, this is always a kind of a tricksy thing to do back here. Let me see if I can get a little bit more of my light back there. Yeah. And I think here too, we just need to get that a couple more lights in the hair. Not too much. See if that gets too much. I'm going to take a blending brush. We'll just take some of that away. Now the faces definitely have a little bit of that. Like they were kind of done in Poser, right? In the digital sculpting software. Usually, some of the other digital sculpting folks that we're used to, those faces get pretty expressive. All right. A little more light over here too. I mean, why not? It's completely out in the open here. We don't have the shadow like here where we had to think about this shadow that was cast over there. Nope, not down there, but up here. I can catch a few more lights over here on this 3D printed Hoodoo rock. Again, this is from Make It, Epic Basing. Just fantastic stuff that they do all the time.